All right, welcome back. And this time, let's still talk about the budget and how, how and if this budget can actually help the economy to grow by attracting foreign direct investment, not just foreign direct investment, even local investment as well. Of course, the budget is before the National Assembly. That's the 7.3 trillion naira budget before the National Assembly. We expect that the National Assembly will work on it very fast. We do not know when we are likely to have that budget passed, but maybe sometime early next year. And we just hope we do not have the kind of problem we had with the 2016 budget in the National Assembly. But then, what the country really needs at this moment is to grow the economy. And the question is, can that budget grow the economy? Is it good enough to attract foreign direct investment that will be needed to grow this economy? I'm being joined on the program now by an economist, Osilama Okofu, to discuss that. Thank you very much for coming on the program once again, and we're talking about the budget again. We've spoken extensively about this budget, but key to driving growth, and of course, the government says it is targeting 2.5% growth in 2017. But key to driving growth is the fact that we need foreign direct investment. We've seen capital flight in this country, especially after the government came in, the prevarication and all of that, that investors were complaining that they were not too sure of what government policies were. But you look at this budget and then you look at the policies we expect to follow. Are you confident that, all the factors are in place that could drive foreign direct investment?
Yeah, all the factors are in place, but not all of them are positive. The document on its own will not drive investment, whether local or foreign. Now, we need to put certain things into perspective. Now, before, especially the foreign direct investors, before they take decisions as to whether they want to come into an economy to play, they carry out what we term a PESO analysis. Now, the PESO analysis, looks at the political, economic, socio-cultural, technological, legal, and environmental factors. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, if these issues are satisfactory to them, yes, they come. But if there are certain uncertainties and drawbacks, they balk. Now, I will just spend time to look at some of these factors to see, are they really at play in Nigeria? Let's look at the political environment. It's not very encouraging. Elections in Nigeria have become war, unfortunately.
But we're not going into elections next year anyway.
No, we're not. No, there will be some pockets of elections.
Yeah.
Governorship elections here and there. They all add up. So invariably, what it means is the political terrain is not very friendly. Like I've said before on this program, I do not like to delve much into the politics of this administration. I am open to giving them time to get their acts right. Yeah, but I'm not a foreign investor, but I'm putting myself in their shoes. A situation where it is perceived or seen to be that the opposition is being emasculated, it means that democracy, as it were, is sort of threatened. Let's leave that aside. Let's look at the legal factors. The judiciary, like we saw recently, the state apparatus was deployed.
Some people have said that was actually positive because, that for the first time, you have, it's like the government is bold enough to take on.
I haven't said there's anything wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I mean, corruption is corruption, wherever and by whomever. It should be discouraged. I especially considering the fact that we are an emerging economy. We need the support of our foreign friends, our development partners, both governments and sub-government agencies abroad.
Something else I want you to talk about. I mean, what we have seen in terms of foreign direct, should I say, I wouldn't call them foreign direct investments now. The kind of investment flow, the majority of them, I would say, that we've seen in the past are portfolio investors. I mean, people who just come in with their dollars. Of course, foreign investors can come in with their dollars, basically portfolio investors. They invest in they do not come here to set up anything at all. They basically invest in probably your bonds, your money, even the equities markets and all of that. And as soon as they perceive anything going wrong, they pull out immediately. And is that the kind of investor we should be targeting? Or we should be targeting, to put it straight, foreign direct investors, people who are coming into this economy to actually invest, build factories, set up things here, so that you don't have a situation where anything happens, immediately they pull their money away. And the moment they pull their money away, as we saw in 2016, when they pulled their money away, the economy almost crushed.
You asked and answered the question basically. It's the factors that play within a system that determine the kind of investors it attracts. Then the question you probably want to ask is, okay, would I bring my money into a country? I'm shown a thick forest. There's no road, no facilities, leading towards that point. Will I now be the one to do all that and set up my factory? Wouldn't it be better for me to come to a place and I see that there's a road leading to nowhere, and then I set up my factory, employ people? Yeah, of course. Especially like I said, for an emerging economy, we need investors that will come and put structures in place. But the chicken or the egg, which comes first? We need to develop our infrastructures. Those are the things, to a large extent, that will determine the kind of investors, long term and solid infrastructurally that will come to play. Like I said, it's the factors on ground, what is at play presently, that determines those who come. Yeah, we don't need profit takers, to just come,
exactly,
dump our shares when things are not looking so rosy, and then they take a hike. We need people who will come and invest in our economy, employ the teeming young men and women who are coming out of our institutions, to give them jobs, help reduce unemployment and all that. So yes, I'll subscribe more to the second K that we talked about.
Recently now, we saw the US for the first time in a very long while increasing interest rates. I mean, I don't know, what effect do you think that could have? Because some people have said, well, it might become a challenge for developing countries like Nigeria. Because it might become more attractive for investors to go there than to come here.
The US has always been attractive for investors. The issue is there. Do you meet certain guidelines that you must have to meet? It's not an all-comers affair. They have the population size. They have the essential infrastructures. Like I just said, we have the population, but we don't have developed infrastructures that would encourage these investors. I want to look beyond issues of interest rates and things like that. Like I said, there are certain factors. I talked about the peso analysis factors. If those fundamental issues are at play, even here, those investors will be they will want to come. Nigeria is attractive any day. We are the biggest economy in Africa. We have the human and material resources. We are a warm people, and any serious global player that doesn't have presence in Nigeria is not really playing, because Africa is going to emerge. Africa is going to be the next big thing economically. So it becomes pertinent that any serious investor will want to be here. But beyond issues of interest rates, our behavioral pattern is very, very important. And if you are targeting inflation, it means that you are emasculating funds. How then do you grow the economy? Who is now going to create these jobs? How would unemployment be reduced? How would you develop your infrastructures? So we need to be, I cannot emphasize this enough. those policies are fine by themselves, but wrongly applied in an emerging economy. That is my position, and I'm glad to take on or have a debate with anybody on it. If you were applying these contractual monetary policies in the US, in the UK, in Germany, for example, perfect. But not in an emerging economy like Nigeria. I think we've had this discussion on what Brazil did over a 30-year period. They discountenanced inflation. They focused more on the fiscal leg, you know, and over time, what happened? Inflation in Brazil today is single digit. But go to towns or cities like Rio de Janeiro, Brasilia, and the rest. Massive infrastructural development. The average rate of inflation in Brazil over that 30-year period was over 400%. Average rates. There were months that inflation in Brazil was up to 6,000%. You can investigate that.
But eventually,
over time, I mean, all factors, they come to play. Okay. They come to play. We are cutting and pasting. That is why we are not heading anywhere. We need to come back. We need to step back and ask ourselves very fundamental questions. Macroeconomics, monetary, fiscal. We should take precedence. My take is that the fiscal leg should take precedence right now. At some point, there will be an interplay of all the factors. Issues and the fears of inflation hitting the roof and all that, you know, will even out.
All right, thank you very much for coming on the program, and thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, that's it on the program. If you want to watch it again, it's simple. Just log on to our website. It's tv360nigeria.com. You'll find this video and lots more there. You can also watch us on our YouTube channel. The address is youtube.com/tv360nigeria. Do subscribe now to get the latest videos and updates. You can join us on Google Plus at TV360Nigeria. Like us on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/TV360online. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our handle is at TV360online. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.